and welcome to the Good Health Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Good, a registered nutritional therapy practitioner and functional medicine practitioner. Join me as we explore thyroid, brain, and fatigue conditions with positivity. From Hashimoto's to multiple sclerosis, chronic fatigue to adrenal dysfunction, I've got you covered. With expert advice and tips to help you take action now and inspiring real patient stories from successful individuals who refuse to let their health hold them back. Start your journey to good health today. And don't forget to come and join the conversation on Instagram at good_health. That's GOODE. Or visit my website at nicolegoodhealth.com to find out more. Okay, so in today's episode, we're going to look at my signature method that I use in clinic with clients. So what is the MitoImmune Method? So the first part, mito, stands for the mitochondria in our body. So this is the energy. And then immune, obviously, for your immune system. And this is really the key to what I do, what I work with everybody, is energy, elevating energy and balancing immune function. So the MitoImmune Method has been developed. It's a science-led approach. So everything is based on the latest research. I've developed it based on my work in clinic. So working with clients, seeing things come up all the time, regularly, finding these crossovers and these things that really come up for everybody. And the method I take across all clients that I work with. So I work on two sides. It's really almost kind of a spectrum. So I work with people who have got autoimmune disorders, who have got immune conditions. I work with people who have got burnout and people who have got kind of chronic stress and want to keep themselves, busy lives and want to keep themselves in optimal health. And this really is a scale. So what we see is, people in this, in modern day life, in modern society these days, we are so busy, we're juggling so much, actually this kind of frantic world, this need to have it all, this success, I guess we view is being busy all the time. And that really is where these optimal health clients come in. So I work with people having to perform at very high levels. So I've worked with, musicians, actors. I've worked with CEOs, with people who have, very stressful jobs, and really those kind of high achievers, high performers who need to be on the go all the time. So this is the optimal health work that I do. It's very preventative. So some of them may be starting to see signs of burnout. Some of them haven't. They're well, but they just really want to make sure that they're keeping everything in tip-top condition. And what we find is the reason that I ended up kind of doing this work, because I started working on the autoimmune side of things, and I still do an awful lot of that. But one of the main key drivers, the key triggers for autoimmunity that comes up all the time and for these chronic illnesses is stress. And I can't tell you how many people came into clinic for, with autoimmune conditions, and actually really they'd had burnout before they developed the disease. And really it is this scale. It's this kind of, we're living this stressful life. So there's those people that are looking for the optimal health. There's the burnout people, these people who are living this fast-paced life and are starting to get kind of burnt out. If that is left unchecked, we get people who develop autoimmune conditions and immune disorders. And stress is not necessarily the only trigger. There are other triggers for autoimmune conditions, but stress is usually involved. If it hasn't been involved before, getting an autoimmune disease will give you stress, because just going on that journey is stressful in itself. So stress really comes through everything and is an underlying factor in all of it. So I work on both sides. I work on the people who have already developed conditions, and I work on the more preventative side, helping people to be in optimal health with that longevity, and most importantly, the health spans, making sure you stay healthy for longer. And this is what the MitoImmune Method was developed from. So all of these people, the key thing they always say is energy is always a problem. So they're always getting tired. Now that is in varying degrees. Obviously, people with the autoimmune conditions are going to suffer from, some of them suffer from really bad fatigue. For the people who are looking for optimal health, it might just be that actually they can tell they're getting a little bit more tired, think they're not quite as much energy as they used to have. So there's a whole scale of this, but energy is always factored in. And then your immune function. So this is the other part of this. So the mito is the energy, and then immune is your immune function. For those with autoimmune conditions, we know that the immune system is impacted. So that immunity is there is a problem with you with your immune function. We need to balance that immune system. For people with the burnout or wanting to optimize their health, we want to make sure that they stay healthy, that they stay fit. So that's the immune side of things. And people with burnout, your immune system is heavily impacted by stress, by burnout. Your immune system will take a hit. So that is how the MitoImmune method came about. And that's what it means. It is energy, it is immunity to help you live as well as you possibly can, wherever you stand on that scale. So whether it's the optimal health or autoimmune side. And there are 4 modalities that I use. So 4 things that I am trained in, all science-led approaches. So I work with functional medicine, and functional medicine really is kind of that root cause medicine. So it is asking why a person is struggling. So for example, somebody comes, with burnout. Why are they burnt out? We don't, okay, great, they've got it, but why is it a problem? We need to look at what's going on for them. Somebody comes to me with, Hashimoto's, for example, as an immune condition. Why have they got that? Because everybody will have different underlying imbalances and root causes. And this really is the key to functional medicine. It's root cause medicine, because the root cause medicine makes it personalized medicine. And that is what gets the results. So there's functional medicine, there's mitochondrial medicine. So I've got heavily into mitochondrial medicine because I'm working with people. I started out working with the autoimmune side, and fatigue is just such a huge issue for them. And we know that these autoimmune conditions impact on mitochondria. Stress also impacts on mitochondria. So people with burnout will have mitochondrial dysfunction of some form at some level. So energy just becomes so super important. And that is where the mitochondrial medicine comes in. I also work with nutritional medicine. So I'm a registered nutritional therapist. And this is all about studying the specific nutrients, the dietary patterns and the dietary components, how that interacts with the body on a cellular, molecular level, how food is medicine, how we can harness that power, making sure that you're getting all the right nutrients that you need for each individual. So this is very individualized again. And then the 4th modality is lifestyle medicine. So a lot of people, I think, assume that most of what I do is just going to be giving you a diet. That's a huge part of what I do, but there's a lot more to it as well. So there's a lot of other factors that come into this. Stress management plays a huge part. Your physical activity plays a part. Your sleep, your lifestyle factors, like even down to chemical toxicity. So chemicals that you've come into contact with, whether you've had mold toxicity. Mindset comes into this as well. So there's so many different factors, and that's the key behind lifestyle medicine. So that's the 4 things that I used to build this MitoImmune method. It's the 4 modalities that I'm trained in. So what is the MitoImmune method? What are the pillars of it? So there are 8 pillars to the MitoImmune method. And these are the things that working in clinic, working with people both in an optimal health capacity, those high achievers, high performers who really want to stay on top of their game, avoid burnout, and the people with the autoimmune diseases. These are the 8 things that I have found are really the foundations of health and wellness for these people. So let's take a quick look at the 8. So the first one is your mitochondrial health. So this really is looking at the mitochondria. These are the battery in every cells in your body. They are the key to energy production. They also help with metabolism. They are really key to getting, optimal energy in people. And people with, autoimmune conditions, like we said, they're going to struggle really with fatigue. People with a lot of stress, they are approaching or heading towards burnout if they haven't already hit that point. So the first thing that we're looking at is the first pillar is mitochondrial health. Then we have immune health. So strengthening that body's defense, making sure that your immune system is A, resilient, and B, balanced. So resilience really is key here. We need to make sure that you can ward off illness. If you've already got an illness, we need to make sure that your immune system isn't overfiring or underfiring. We want it balanced. We want to make sure that we are helping to balance out those autoimmune processes. And then we also want to make sure that your body's natural defense mechanisms really are at their best and working to the best of their ability. Pillar number 3 is brain health. So we're nurturing that cognitive clarity. A lot of people, wherever they are on this scale of optimal health, burnout, chronic illness, wherever they are on this scale, a lot of people struggle with a symptom like brain fog. We also want to be looking at preventing cognitive decline, so we can do this as well. We're looking at neuroimmune and neurodegenerative disorders. We're focusing on memory. We're focusing on mood regulation, making sure that you really, targeting through nutrition, through stress management, through cognitive exercises, that you are optimizing your brain function for performance and also for optimal health. Pillar number 4 is your adrenal health. So like I said at the beginning, stress is a huge problem. It's a huge problem in our modern day society. We're living in a world where it's almost kind of celebrated to be stressed. If we are busy all the time and we've got a high-powered job and we've got a family and we're doing all of this, that is celebrated. That's how she's successful for doing that. But that means we're living with this chronic stress, and chronic stress is a huge problem. Whether that is, again, on, the optimal health burnout side of things, or whether it's been something that has triggered an autoimmune condition in you, a chronic illness in you, stress is a problem. And this is pillar 4, your adrenal health. So your adrenals, we're looking at the body's stress response. We're looking at your stress hormones. We're making sure you've got that resilience to face those life's challenges. We all come up against stress. We can't get rid of it. There's times where we're going to be stressed. It's not as simple as just avoiding it. What we want to do is make sure that your body is resilient to it and can handle stress effectively. So that's pillar number 4. Pillar number 5 is your thyroid. So looking at optimal thyroid function. Thyroid is very heavily involved in energy levels. It's also a very fast growing autoimmune issue. So Hashimoto's in particular is really growing at a rapid rate. I'm seeing more and more people in clinic with it all the time. It's a huge part of what I do. It is also an area that can become imbalanced, particularly in women. It happens in men, but it's more prevalent in women, particularly when we hit that age of around 40 or over 40. And this is actually a really kind of difficult age, whether we are, particularly when we're looking at stress, because at this point, people have generally reached a certain level within their career. They're relatively successful, which means there's more pressure on the job. They've also maybe got children. They've also maybe got parents that need looking after. There's other stresses coming into play just in things of, buying houses, moving house. There's lots of things going on in life at that age that can act as stressors. And the thyroid is very prone to becoming imbalanced at this stage of life. Like I said, particularly in women, but it does happen in men too. We can't rule out that it won't happen in men, but women are particularly prone to this thyroid imbalance. And that Hashimoto's is really growing. So these autoimmune thyroid conditions really are growing at a very rapid rate. So that's pillar 5. Pillar 6 is gut health. So making sure that we're really building a very balanced gut microbiome, that's going to influence your digestion, your immunity. More than 70% of your immune system is in the gut. So we definitely can't look at immune function without looking at the gut. But also, also mood and stress, because there is a gut, brain and immune connection axis around the body. The gut's very connected to the brain. It's very connected to your immune system. And all of this works together. And you'll find this with a lot of these pillars. A lot of them cross over. So it's very important that we don't just look at one area of the body. And this really is this kind of functional medicine approach of whole body medicine, looking at everything as one. So we make sure that your gut is healthy. We make sure that there's nothing there that is triggering anything else, any other imbalances going on. It's going to help support. It's a key driver in many chronic illnesses, not necessarily in everybody, but it is in a lot of cases. That gut health is something that becomes imbalanced with chronic illness and with chronic stress. So on both sides of this, whether we're working with the optimal health burnout side or whether we're working with the autoimmune side, gut health is going to be really key. Then we've got pillar 6. So we've got cardiometabolic health. So we're looking at your blood sugar balance, your heart health, your metabolism, your blood sugar balance, your cholesterol. There's loads of different things that we are looking at in there with that cardiometabolic health. And it really is key to optimal health that we're looking at these things, managing your risk for any of these things and helping you to live healthy for longer. Because we don't just want people to live longer, we want to live healthy for longer. And that's called your health span. So we look at, people a lot of the time will sort of mention longevity. They'll mention, your lifespan. So your lifespan is how long you're going to live. Your health span is how long you're going to be healthy. So how long are you going to live healthy? That's what we want. That health span is the important one. We don't want to live to 120 and be really sick. That's no good. We want to live as long as possible, as healthy as possible, for as long as possible. And that's our health span, making sure that we maintain health for as long as possible. And this is for anybody. And that's where cardiometabolic health, comes in as well. And then pillar 8 is hormone health. So balanced hormones are going to contribute to your mood, to your energy levels, to overall vitality. Again, something that can become imbalanced, again, particularly for women, because we have, different life stages for women, especially around times of sort of pregnancy or perimenopause, menopause. So we have more life stages around hormonal changes in women, but men still suffer with hormonal imbalances. And again, at that kind of age, that mid-age, 40s, 50s, this is where things like this start to become imbalanced. Hormone health can also have a big impact as underlying root causes within chronic illnesses. So that is the 8 pillars of the MitoImmune method. So really the key of the MitoImmune method is that we are looking at your energy and your immunity. This is where the focus is, whether that is for people with chronic stress, burnout, optimal health, or whether it's that you've already reached the point of developing an immune condition or an autoimmune condition. We are looking at energy and immunity. These really are the 2 key things. And this is the foundation of the MitoImmune method. We do that through the 8 pillars because we take a whole body holistic approach. And these are the 8 things that often come up for people. You may not have all of them come up in every single person, but there will certainly be at least 5 or 6 of these that are coming up for everybody. A lot of these are drivers for autoimmune conditions. And, if we take an autoimmune condition, obviously it's different for all different ones, but I could have, let's take Hashimoto's because we've already mentioned it. I could have 5 people in front of me with Hashimoto's, all got the same diagnosis, may even all have the same symptoms, but the underlying issues that are going on may be different for different people. Somebody might have, they'll all have some form of thyroid imbalance. One might have really bad gut health issues. One might have hormone imbalances. Somebody else could have the autoimmune side could be really out of control. So that immune health could be balanced. Some people with Hashimoto's, the brain will be impacted. Most of them will probably have adrenal issues. So you can see how all these pillars start to play in. So that's on the autoimmune sort of side of things. And then you've got the burnout, the optimal health, and I work with people, like I said, in sort of the creative industries and the sort of the entrepreneurs, people in business, and really, all the pillars are at play for them too. If you've got chronic stress, or if you're, on your way to burnout or got burnout, your energy levels deplete. So that's the mitochondria, your performance, drive, mood, cognition, all of that can be impacted. That's the brain health. They might start to get sick more often. That's your immune health. You might start to experience, gastrointestinal symptoms. That's the gut health. You might suffer with the chronic stress. You've got a lot of stresses in your life. That's the adrenal health. And you may not necessarily feel like you're stressed, but you just know you've got a lot going on in life. There's a lot there that needs working on. That is a stress in itself. It's these little stresses that are going on. So that's your adrenal health. Hormones become imbalanced, because of that. Relationships can suffer. That's your hormonal health. Then we've got, the chronic stress, that side of thing leads to blood sugar imbalances, cholesterol imbalances, all of those sorts of things. That's the cardiometabolic health, also impact your heart, cardiometabolic health. And then, like we've said, the thyroid, that can become imbalanced in people as lifestyle and chronic stress impacts the body and those energy levels deplete. We can sometimes find that is linked with the thyroid. So all of these pillars come into play, regardless of whether you're searching for that optimal health and performance, or whether you've already reached the point of having health conditions and autoimmune conditions, immune conditions. So that is the MitoImmune method. We really are looking at root cause medicine, getting to the bottom of what's going on, what's causing these things for you personally. So individualized medicine, this is really important. We're using functional medicine, mitochondrial medicine, nutritional medicine, and lifestyle medicine to do this. And we're doing it by looking through these 8 pillars of my signature method that I have identified and that I work with in clinic with everybody that comes to work with me. So I know a lot of you have reached out asking about the method. You've seen me start, posting about it on Instagram and things like that. And lots of you have asked questions about it. So I really just wanted to get the opportunity to talk a little bit more about it. Obviously on Instagram, stories and things like that, we're relatively limited with time. So I just wanted to dig into this a little bit deeper, give you an explanation of what the method is. It underpins every service that I offer in clinic. So whether it's, whether you want to join one of my group programs, whether you're going to join in one-to-one clinic, whether you are looking at my nutrition plans, the MitoImmune method underpins everything that I'm doing with that. And like I said, energy, immunity, that's what we're working with at Good Health with the MitoImmune method. So that is it for this week. I will be back next week with another episode of the Good Health podcast. I hope you tune in and join me then. If you've enjoyed this episode or any of the other episodes, please do hit subscribe or rate us, review us. It really does help if you can do that on your favorite podcast app. And I will see you next week with another guest episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Good Health podcast. Do share the episode with anyone who you think it may benefit or who may enjoy it, and help me spread the word by rating the episode or leaving a review. If you want more, you can find other episodes in the series on your podcast app or sign up to my free newsletter. Not only will you get information on new episodes launching, but we cover lots of health topics with the Ask Nicole section where you can send in your questions, my favorite recipes, my favorite products, tips and tricks to help you on the road to good health, and much more. You can sign up free of charge at nicolegoodhealth.com/newsletter, also linked below. I hope you have a lovely week. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.